Hello and welcome, Power Painters, to Artist Toolkit Volume 2. This is Taylor Payton of PowerPainters.org as well as TayPayArt.com. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that's very near and dear to me. This concept that I'm about to share with you is just incredulously valuable for you as an artist and just generally as a human being. So, as I've kind of advanced along the path of art in general and kind of life, I found that no matter what I did in art, it was always directly related to who I was kind of as a person, the kind of headspace I was in, the kind of emotions I was going through. And I think that a lot of artists fail to realize the direct connection between themselves and the art. So this particular volume 2 video of the Artist Toolkit is going to be talking about you as the art. So the concept is that you are the first thing that you should refine as you would, one of your pieces, one of your sketches, one of your paintings, whatever it may be. If you refine yourself first and you work on yourself, then the art comes through a better channel. So, for example, if you're a very impatient person, then no matter what, your art is going to show that. I mean, you might be able to get around some of it in your art if, you have more patience with your art than you do with your family or in your general life, then yeah, maybe that is a good thing. But if you were more patient on the whole, that would be reflected in your art. There'd be parts that are even less rushed. Or if you're a very fearful person, if you have a lot of fear that kind of moves around in your consciousness and your mind all the time, then you're going to see that in the art because you'll either do the same thing that you're comfortable with over and over, or you'll be afraid to branch off into new territory. Let's say you're always drawing, dragons, and nobody wants you to, stop doing that if that's your thing. But what if you're afraid to draw a different format of creature? There's so much to explore and so much to do, but the fear would be the thing holding you back. So, your art doesn't come into this existence where we can all see it unless it does so through you. Therefore, you need to be the art that you work on the most because you yourself are art. So let's say you want to get better at, being healthier. That would reflect in your art as well. Because if you are healthier and thinking clearer and you feel better in your body, then you're going to have more energy to do art. And you're going to have that energy translate into your art simply because it has that vibrance that you would be emanating as a person. So, if you're going to take this concept and kind of apply it to your life, if you want something actionable, something you can do, then shine the spotlight of your awareness on something in your life that you have been avoiding, something you know you need to fix. For me, for a good example, I have had a hard time sticking and committing to projects, and I was a very flighty artist. I would always be flying around different styles, different techniques, different mediums, concept art, illustration, comics, all this stuff. And it has served me to a degree because I wouldn't be where I am without that stuff. But at the same time, you need to realize, is this ever going to get me the results that I'm looking for? Is this going to help me achieve these goals? And I have some goals like putting out a graphic novel art book or creating, on the musical side, which I don't really show on this channel, I want to do my first EP, my first release of 6 to 8 songs, like a 30-minute album. And these are things that you need to commit in order to do. So I had to look at myself first and foremost and realize that I wasn't committing to these things. I wasn't committing to my projects or my pieces of art. And so you start to delve into what it means to commit to something and why you're scared of it and how you can start getting around those fears one step at a time. So for a lot of artists, such as yourself, you may have sort of I know this is a common problem, you don't really set any goals. You don't have any direction in which you're moving. You're just kind of flowing by the seat of your pants. And that's cool for a little bit and it will get you some results. But honestly, the more you can temper yourself to focus on goals and write these things down and have an idea of where you want to go with your stuff and what you want to do with it, then the sheer joy of creation becomes even greater, because you're moving towards a certain example of art. For example, you want to release a graphic novel, you want to do an art book, you want to open up a Patreon and have a bunch of people fund your art. These are things that you have to get clear about. And so to return to our more immediate subject of you as the art that you refine so that your body of work reflects that, you can just start taking these examples and, like I said, shining the spotlight of awareness on them and figuring that kind of stuff out. you kind of have to increase your own energy from that point. You have to be ready to express something that you haven't expressed before, and you have to try it out. For example, I just spent the weekend doing a comic, and that was something that I needed to engage in and I needed to finish because then I would see what it was like to do a graphic novel, or I would get at least a preview of that. And if I want to get good at it, I'm going to have to do it 100 more times, within the span of a year. I'm going to have to do 100 more comic pages or whatever. And that's just a general kind of rule you can use if you want to get better at doing something, or if you want to get outside of a comfort zone in particular. Do it 100 times. Create an action you can do. So, for example, if you want to draw better, then make at least 2 drawings a week for 50 weeks of the year, and you have 100 drawings done. Now, also pair that with deliberate practice and make sure you know what you're going to be drawing. Learn a lot about a little. So, for example, the human body or landscapes or what have you. So, again, to just kind of crystallize these concepts, I'm going to repeat some of them because repetition is the key to getting it ingrained so that you can actually remember it and start using it. So you have to have these goals. You have to have sort of an idea of what you want to do with your stuff, because if you don't have an idea of what you want to do with your art, then your art's going to reflect that. Once again, it is inextricable. You can really not have an easy time separating the artist from the art. You can do it in certain cases and you can do it with certain models of thinking and abstractions, but as a general rule, the artist is the channel. So let's just use another example. Let's say that you have set a goal and you forget about it. You kind of set it and forget it. And it happens a lot. It happens to the best of us. Some of us set too many goals. Some of us just don't know the skill of setting goals. And if you're not an amazing goal setter, but you cultivate the habit of drawing, yes, you'll make progress, but it'll be sort of a default. You'll just keep moving forward in a direction that kind of was not as much of a choice. And you may like that and you may not like that. But once again, you get that hazy sort of thing going on. And that'll show up in your art because you as a person, you haven't created the mental model that permits you to say, I want to be here by this time and with these specifications, and these are the milestones that I need to hit in order to know I'm on the right track. So if the process of setting goals scares you or doesn't really resonate with you at this point, I would encourage you just to set a small one and to get over your fear. Because if you're on this channel and you're watching these videos, then I want you to get something out of them. I want you to have a better life. I want you to be able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And for so many of us artists, we never really take on this stuff. We never get to the point where we're looking at ourselves this closely, like we look at our art. Like you'll take the magnifying glass and you'll zoom into the finest detail on your art. But when it comes to yourself, you won't give yourself the same sort of treatment or respect. And once again, if you're the channel, then your art's not even as good as it could be. Even if it's awesome right now, there's always something you can work on in yourself that is going to make your art even better, going to make you even more productive, going to get you to a place where you're able to draw things and paint things you haven't painted before, or complete larger scale projects that you wouldn't have even undertaken had you not worked on yourself and set these steps and these goals and these guidelines. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. As a whole little wrap-up thing, just to give you guys one more kind of run through of this concept, because I just want to keep on. I mean, I will beat the horse even if it is dead. I'm just going to say it. So I'm not going to make any excuses. Look at yourself first. You are the channel through which your art is going to come through. So I want you to shine the spotlight of awareness on yourself and realize what aspects of you need work in order to see improvement in your art, in order to start hitting those goals you may or may not have set. Number two, set those goals. Start to think about where you want to take your stuff, because it is fun just to do it. And if you're a hobbyist, that's once again amazing. You don't have to do any of this stuff. I just want you to get value from watching these videos. So set some goals. I mean, it'll make it more fun. It gives you something to shoot for. The reason why we play games is to score goals. You want to be on the leaderboard, or you want to have a good kill death ratio in Overwatch or something, or you just want to win. And in order to win, you have to define the parameters by which you're playing. So if winning to you means that you are able to release that graphic novel within a year, or even if you're just getting started and you want to do 100 drawings, then that's your expectation. That's your goal. That's how you win. And once you win or don't win, then you evaluate the situation and you set a new goal and you try again, you do a new action, and you get a different result. And that's the fun part. And that about wraps up our recap, guys. So this concludes Artist Toolkit number 2, which is You as the Art. Thanks for watching. Check the Power Painter store for awesome courses that are going to help you level up and improve and have more of this kind of talk and ideology behind it, because it's going to help you drive and succeed and see the results you want in your art and hopefully in your life. Yeah, happy drawing, happy painting, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, Power Painter.